Evening, guys, here from the Republican Watch Party in Boise tonight. We are joined now by Governor Butch Otter and his wife, Lori. First of all, thanks for being with us, you guys.
You're welcome.
Give me your reaction to what's happening so far tonight. A big surprise in a lot of places for Donald Trump.
Not a big enough surprise yet to give us comfort, but it's the right trend.
What do you think about this turnout across the country? There was a lot of projections, Clinton winning the races by 75, 80%, by 538, one of the biggest polls out there. But that doesn't seem to be the case tonight.
Well, I think it's great. You know, the inspiration that's come out of this campaign, no matter how contentious, no matter how negative it's been, and negative in the fact that, you know, neither candidate really had a majority of acceptance from their respective parties, yet people are involved in this democratic process. They're involved in sustaining the republic, and that's what's important.
I think it's fascinating. It's going to be fascinating to do the breakout. Of course, we're kind of nerds that way. But to see what the new voter registration, what the new voter turnout. I mean, we've been doing. Butch has been in 25 races. I've been next to him for 18, and I've never had. We go to Vote and Star. We get there at 5 to 8, and we're usually the first people in line. And today there had to be at least 60, 70 people in front of us, and we got there at 7:30. So the voter turnout has got to be amazing for the new registered people, the people that have been on the sidelines maybe their whole life, that are voting for the first time and they're in their 60s and 70s. To me, that's fascinating that Trump drew them out of their shell and said, you know, this country's still worth fighting for.
There's still a lot of too close to call races out there, but we're seeing a lead right now by Donald Trump. What do you think that says about the state of this country and the way voters feel?
That says at this time and at this place, I'm happy.
And at this time and at this place, everybody else is right now. But we'll see.
But, you know, it's going to be a long night. In fact, it wasn't that many years ago when I stood here, 2000, when Bush won. I went to bed. I had won my congressional seat for the first time as a freshman. I went to bed. Bush had already been announced as the winner. Got up the next morning, and all of a sudden the world had turned upside down.
And Tom Brokaw's crying on national TV because Gore didn't win, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So we don't go to sleep on election night.
Which kind of gives you an indication of where the quote-unquote Main Street media is on a lot of it. But all in all, just the participation alone, when you get 65, 70% of the people involved in the process, win, lose, or draw, that's got to be healthy. That's got to be healthy for the government. It's got to be healthy for sustaining, as I said earlier, this republic.
And you just really hope, as a country, that you realize that the candidates realize that half of the country is going to be upset and half the country is going to be happy, and there's something to learn from both sides. In other words, what is it that, you know, where's the middle ground that you can reach the other 50%, because that's really what governing is about, is finding that middle ground and not gloating and just knowing that, you know, you're happy, but there's 50% of America that's probably not happy.
So. My last question to the two of you is, Donald Trump has no political experience. He's never served in office. He's a businessman. Do you have any reservations about him as president?
No, I don't. And when he chose his vice president, it was Mike Pence, was a freshman with me in the 107th Congress, and I served with him for 6 years. I know Mike Pence, and I know him to be a quality guy and somebody that can press the issue and also sustain the day, win the day. And so if that's the kind of people that Trump is going to choose for every cabinet member, for every Supreme Court member, and for those people that he's going to listen to, then I have every confidence that not only will he succeed, but he's going to bring this country back together again, because that's what Mike Pence did in the 107th, 108th, and the 109th Congress.
And I would say that as you know, he's had his run, but a successful businessman, you don't get to be a successful businessman without understanding politics. I mean, they do go hand in hand, whether, you know, you want them to or not. So I think maybe he hasn't been a candidate or he hasn't been held office, but I think he's paid attention to politics. I think he's aware of the system and how it works, and the good, the bad, and the ugly that comes with the American political system. And so I think in some ways he'll bring as Butch is always fond of saying, he'll bring business principles to government, which, you know, it's not always a bad thing.
First Lady Lori Otter, Governor Butch Otter, I appreciate your time. Thank you both so much for being here. Guys, we've been here since 4 o'clock this afternoon. The crowd here has grown exponentially. Talked to them earlier. They were a little mediocre about how they felt, but the excitement in this room has grown as Donald Trump has continued to grab state after state. We'll be here throughout the evening, but for now, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you so much, Chris. Well, let's go to our guests now. Let's talk to him for a second.
They've been talking about some of these things.
Yeah, we've been listening to the governor and Miss Lori for quite a while, yes. So reaction, you guys, to what you just
Bringing
heard.
the country together. Who can do it?
Who does it? It doesn't matter who wins. It's not, the country is not going to become